Picture this. You're a banisher or a ghost hunter in 1695. What would you do if your soulmate died and they became one of the spirits that they sought to banish? Would you help her spirit ascend to a higher place, or would you sacrifice living human beings to help resurrect her from the dead? These are the types of decisions you'll need to make in Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, a new action RPG developed by Don't Nod and published by Focus Entertainment. And a massive thank you to Focus Entertainment for providing me with an early copy of the game almost 3 weeks early. This allowed me to get out this review to you guys, as well as create an entire series that will be available to you today if you are a part of the Bandit tier or higher membership on my channel. The game is a story driven action RPG set in 1695 in a fictional town in New England. The Banishers, Red Raith and Antea Duarte, arrive in New Eden to investigate a strange curse that's fallen over the land. You'll need to unravel the mystery of New Eden as you progress through the game. And as I said previously, your choices will dramatically change how the game plays out, the people in New Eden, and your overall playthrough as a whole. This game overall exceeded all of my expectations. In terms of story, I thought the story and the writing was extremely well done. One thing I will say is that the game can be a little slow at the start due to a large amount of dialogue. Now, don't take that as a bad thing. This is a story-driven action RPG, and the dialogue honestly is necessary to gather all the information that you need to ensure you can decide and make the difficult decisions throughout the game. I got into mystery books and supernatural things when I was about 10, so I enjoy these types of stories set in old time periods. You'll have to decide if you're the type of person that will have the patience to listen to the dialogue. Overall, the main story will take you about 20 to 25 hours to complete, and you can easily double that if you're looking to get the Platinum Trophy. One of the first things you'll notice about the game is that it plays like God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. Your character movement and traversal through the environment feel very familiar. There are other similarities and clear inspirations you can see throughout the game with environmental puzzles and other things. This isn't to say that Banishers is trying to copy God of War, so before you guys write in the comments, oh, it's trying to copy the game, it's really not. The game has clearly taken inspirations from what made God of War so great and brought new ideas and concepts to life with a spin on them that fits this game. Like any action RPG, your character has stats that assist with damage output, special abilities, damage reduction, and physical resistance. These stats are based off your gear that you equip and you pick up through chests and quests throughout the world, and will give you an edge in combat. Speaking in combat, the combat is dynamic, has good depth and diversity from the bonus you receive on your gear and how they can synergize with your skill trees, which you can freely change at any time. For instance, you can be a parry-centric fighter, giving you massive damage boosts when performing counterattacks after a parry, or you can focus on Antea and the huge damage outputs with her spectral abilities, which are called manifestations. In terms of skill points, you receive red skill points through completing quests and events across the world. In addition, when taking on haunting cases that count towards the ending you're trying to achieve, whether that's letting Antea ascend or helping her resurrect herself from the dead, these cases will give you essence green skill points to use in your skill trees. One complaint I did have is that the enemy variety is very lacking. About halfway through the game, I had seen all the enemies in the game. Main story bosses are well done, but fighting elites and things like that out in the world get very repetitive. However, despite the lack of enemy variety, combat encounters were kept fresh by enemies placed into the encounter. What I mean by this is that, for instance, white spirits are basic enemies. However, they can become more dangerous if they inhabit a dead corpse, and you'll basically have two health bars to deal with unless you use your banish ability to completely vanquish them. Any spirit can inhabit dead corpses, so purple specters can teleport. They're more agile and aggressive and can perform an AoE that will stun you. Green specters are a big threat as they can shoot projectiles from above or they can shield other enemies until you get rid of them. Throwing all these into the mix definitely makes things interesting, so you never know what kind of of enemies that you're going to get. During my 40 hours plus playing on PS5, I hardly encountered any performance issues. There are literally only a couple instances where frames drop briefly running through a new section of the map. Other issues I noticed were that there is a noticeable lag when hitting the touchpad to bring up your map or the menu. It should be a lot snappier, I feel like. There's sometimes I would get a black screen with a cursor when I would attempt to fast travel, and I'd have to do it several times for the map to actually appear before I could fast travel at all. There was also a noticeable lag when moving the cursor around the map and the map moving with the cursor. It seemed kind of odd, but I was able to adapt to it. Now, hopefully, these are things. I know there's a day one patch coming, so hopefully, these are things that will get ironed out in that day one patch. The game has a $49 price tag, and in my opinion, it is well worth it. There's more than enough content to keep you occupied and money well spent, as well as the fact that you can also replay the game, make different choices, and get a different ending. There are apparently five different endings to the game, which is absolutely wild and speaks volumes to the replayability of this game. The game was set to release in November, but got delayed until now. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like this is the perfect time for it to release, considering the proximity of it to Valentine's Day and the premise of the story. Red and Antea are two of the strongest characters in the game. There are some other characters that are pretty well done as well. However, most unfortunately fall in the category where they're not as memorable. I'm going to give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with it with all facets of the game, the combat, the exploration, the puzzles. Definitely do not sleep on this game or it will haunt you. See what I did there? There's definitely a lot more to talk about with this game, but I wanted to stay to the core topics of the game in this review. Stay tuned for more videos to come, like a tips and tricks video that will go over more advanced things in the combat and upgrade system to upgrade your gear. So that's about it for this one, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think if you're going to be trying this out and playing it. Anxious to know your thoughts. So stay tuned for plenty more content on Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. Hopefully, you're all doing well. Stay tuned. More coming at you. Take care.